to wait for some time so she can join.
Is it
So am I
fine?
audible?
Yeah. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are
Yes, ma'am.
completely audible.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sorry.
So let's start with this session. We are deeply honored to welcome you all. A very cheerful morning to our adjudicators, teachers, and participants. I am Manji Srivastav, and we have Ocean Jain with us as a student coordinator. A big welcome to our guest, Ms. Utkarsha Nikam. Ma'am is a strong professional graduate from GLC Mumbai. In 2019, she is associated with Kanga and Company, where she worked in a real estate team. She is also a member of advisory board of Advocate Legal League. Ma'am is a co-founder of blog titled as Indian Real Estate Blogs. Additionally, ma'am has also authored several articles and reported in journals and blogs. While at GLC, she has served as a general secretary in Legal Aid Committee and was a avid mooter. We welcome you, ma'am. We also have our faculty coordinator, Mr. Sumit Maheshwari, sir. Sir is an assistant professor at Prestige Institute of Management and Research, Department of Law. The Prestige family is really pleased to have you among us. We are really excited to hear our participant and wish that this event leaves the best remark in our memories. The room is ready, the tables are set. So let's start with our awaited Padma Shri and Indian National Debate Competition. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. I would really want to extend my gratitude to the Department of Law and the organizing committee for having me. I would also like to extend my gratitude to Mr. Sumit Maheshwari for joining in with me. Also, I appreciate the efforts the committee has put in. So now let's begin the session. Now, Team Deb 04 will be for the motion and Team Deb 49 will be against the motion. Now, please introduce yourselves without disclosing your college name or identity.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Siddharth Soni, and I am a second year law student at Symbiosis Law School, Pune. And today I'll be speaking in favor of the topic.
Team Deb 49 will be speaking for against the motion. Can you please introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. This is Ekta Chauhan from my team code is Deb 49 and I'm a fourth year student.
Okay. So I think we can proceed with the session. Team Deb 04, I'd like to start with the session.
In the words of the great economist Amartya Sen, economic growth without investment in human development is unsustainable and unethical. Good morning, everyone. Today, I would be speaking in the favor of the topic, free medical testing of COVID-19 in India is justified. My first contention today is that the demand for the basis of free medical testing comes from the basic premise that health is a human right and should not be denied to anyone. The WHO Constitution envisions the highest attainable standard of health as a fundamental right of every human being. Amongst all the rights to which we are entitled, I think the right to health may be the most intersectional and crucial. Right to health comes within the ambit of right to life and liberty under Article 21 of our Constitution, as is confirmed by various Indian judicial pronouncements, and which further casts an obligation on states under Article 47 to provide medical aid to every person and to work for the welfare of the general public. In my second contention, I would like to focus on the importance of diagnostic testing and the hardships that are faced by the poor. While we are not in an ideal situation with COVID-19, diagnostic testing in today's times is of utmost importance. In the absence of a successful therapy or a vaccine, diagnostic testing becomes a valuable tool. Testing leads to quick identification of cases, quick treatment for those people, and immediate isolation to prevent spread. Limited tests, if done in India, could cover the true toll of the disease in the world's second most populous country. Lessons learned from SARS and Ebola show the importance of early detection. In today's times, we have one health system for the poor, another for the middle class, and another for the rich and the super rich. What we need to do is move from this fractured system towards a single healthcare system for everyone. The Honorable Supreme Court, in its own modified order of Shashank Dev Suri versus Union of India, limited free testing only to Ayushman Bharat Yojana beneficiaries, which covers just a small fraction of poor people in the country. There is a big chunk of people just above the poverty line and that are also struggling. And there are these middle class workers who have been laid off and cannot afford to pay for their families to get tested. I would thirdly contend that in order to make free testing available to the public at large, private hospitals and laboratories should be made to participate in this fight against COVID 19. Considering the poor state of public health infrastructure, the service of the private sector is critical to combat COVID 19. In today's times, the public interest must outweigh the privates. The apex court seems to have ignored the fact that people are forced to depend on the private sector due to the poor public health infrastructure. The court also does not appear to have verified the rationale behind the cost of rupees 4,500 for the diagnostic test. Moving towards conclusion, I would like to say that India currently spends about 2% of the total taxes it collects from the people. This is 4 times less than what we spend on pensions and 5 times less than the money spent on the defense sector. So I think that the pandemic is still in India at an early stage and it will play out. India should learn from its equivalent countries like Iceland, Sri Lanka, Singapore, South Korea, and Vietnam, where the central governments fund for the COVID-19 testing as well as treatment, and the treatment is made available to the public for free. Thank you so much.
I request Team Depth 49 to proceed with the session.
Good morning, everyone. As I've already given my introduction, so I'll be talking against the motion. As we all know, coronavirus is a disease which is commonly known as COVID-19, was first identified in China, in the city of Wuhan in December 2019, and have been spread all over the world in a very short span of time. And if we see the data released today, in India we have around 82,000 of more than 83,000 of confirmed cases of the COVID-19, and the rates of the patients are increasing day by day, and the deaths are increasing too. One of the crucial steps towards this pandemic is to find the suspect and identify the disease in the suspect, which can be done only through testing, which is in a medical labs. Testing is important for a bigger public picture, and it helps the investigators to find the prevalence, its spread, and contagiousness. So, as it has been mentioned by my learned friend, that for any country we need to have economic growth. So I would like to discuss the judgment provided by the Honorable Supreme Court dated 13th of April, where the Supreme Court have mandated the private labs to conduct free testing. For any economic growth, we need at least a funds, and then by the judgment which was given by Supreme Court in the date of 8th April, where they have mandated where they have given a cap of rupees 4,500 for the private labs. What itself was being very difficult for the our private labs to recover the cost from them and then to run their businesses. Then again, by the order of dated 13th of April, where they have mandated the private labs to to conduct a testing free of cost, becomes a very cumbersome process for our private labs and hence it is very evident that the free testing of the India is not justified. The reasons are very evident. First of the reason is due to this pandemic and lockdown all over the India. We have already blocked supply chains, and then the private labs are already running into losses due to as they are paying the advances to their staff, to their workers, as their families are not allowing them to come to work due to the fear of getting infected from this disease, and hence they have to pay the money in advance, and then asking them to conduct tests free of cost would definitely run their business into loss and will definitely cause them a severe loss. And then in India, free testing COVID-19 is not justifies. The another reason I would like to give is, as we all know, private labs are something which is a profit running entities, and hence asking them or compelling them to conduct tests free of cost would ruin their business. Because see, for any private entities, they have to run their business by their own. They are not supported by any financial assistance by any government or any authorities. Then for running their business, they need fund, and for conducting tests also they need to have for any tests incurs the operational and fixed costs. For operational and fixed costs, they need a capital. Even if they can do for a 1 week or two, they will definitely run out of cash, and there will be a scarcity of funds in the private labs. And as we all know, we are in the second stage of this pandemic. If we enter into third stage, which would be a community spread, then if we would need the private labs or their assistance, they would not be able to show their assistance or show their ineffectiveness. Hence, at last, I would like to conclude that the government should take initiative to
Thank you, participants. Now I request you to proceed to the rebuttal round. Team Dev04 can go ahead.
Thank you, Team Dev 49. First of all, I would like to rebut your point that my learned friend seems to be much more enthusiastic about the interest of private entities. So, what I'm asking, and rather I'm suggesting, is that it should not be the private entities who should bear the whole cost. It should be the government to fund free medical testing in India, where the government spends only 2% on medical healthcare. It should be the primary duty of the government to fund for free medical testing, as diagnostic testing is extremely critical in today's times. And also, private entities, the support of private entities in India is crucial at this time of crisis. So we need to engage private entities as much as possible to battle against the fight against COVID-19. That's it.
Team that 0449 can proceed with the rebuttal. Your mic is...
First of all, I would like to answer my learned friend that, as he has already mentioned and I have answered in the introduction of my debate, that for any country, for its development, we need economic growth, and the economic growth comes from a capital and the supported funds. So I have never mentioned in my debate that we need the private funds, the private labs are not interested in serving the nation. They definitely are. But what we need is, we are against this free testing, because for running any business you need capital funds. You cannot just do a charity and run your business. You need something, you need capital. So I would like to say free. Hence, I think I have answered my like the statement made by my learned judge. I think I've answered that for running any business, for doing any charity, you need capital for a long run, and hence you cannot just you cannot you cannot make the other person survive when you are by yourself are surviving.
Team Dev04, I have a question for you. Now,
Yes,
with
ma'am.
respect to the diagnostic testing which you argumented upon, now there are other lot of factors which affect the situation. So how will you substantiate your motion with that, apart from the diagnostic testing?
So apart from the diagnostic testing, where India spends about 7 or 8% on spending on pensions, and about 10% of its GDP on the defense sector, the government should be the one which needs to fund for medical testing. I'm not asking here today that the private labs and labs and entities should fund for the people. I know that the capped price by the ICMR is of 4,500, and should not be bared just by the private labs and entities. So I think it is the role of the government here, and the private labs should be there must be an effective. So for the concern of private labs and hospitals, there must be an effective reimbursement policy introduced by the government to so that um, they can encourage private labs and hospitals to contribute in this battle.
Thank you. Team Lab 49, I have a question for you. Now, with respect to your question, arguments basically, you are more focused on the private labs and the capital funds. So, how would you substantiate your motion? Isn't human pandemic a major issue rather than the capital economy structure and the growth of the society?
Ma'am, I would like to answer. Say, we know this pandemic is a national crisis for India, but we cannot just look into this pandemic and then survive on the economy. We need, as for private labs or for any other health sector, they are providing other health services as well. So if we would spend our most of income or our most of wealth on just this pandemic, then I think we would lack and we will be ineffective in serving the other health services, in rendering other health services, and it would
Sorry to
affect the health
interrupt.
sector in
Which
the long
other
run.
health services are you referring to?
Ma'am, we have other health services like like any other health services, ma'am. The how to say, I mean, the any accident for if we have this government policies like Ayushman Bharat Yojana for the poor section, and if we spend our most of the economy or most of wealth on just pandemic, then we will be lacking on the Ayushman Bharat Yojana, which talks about the insurance of the poor section of the society.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you.
Thank you, debaters, and thanks to our adjudicator. Now, I would like to call Mr. Sumit Maheshwari, sir, to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mansi. Good afternoon, adjudicator, participants, and students. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, Sumit Maheshwari, Faculty Coordinator on behalf of Prestige Institute of Management Research, Department of Law, would like to extend my gratitude towards whom without we could not have pulled off this event. Without our adjudicator, Ms. Utkarsha Nikam ma'am, our institution and the organizing committee, who worked tirelessly from day one to make today a reality. The entire organizing committee of National Debate Competition, our sponsors, audience, and everyone who helped in this event here together extend a very hearty vote of thanks to our adjudicator, coordinator, speaker for gracing this event and enlightening us with their opinion today. Thank you everyone for taking the time to be here today. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Can leave the meeting as as our round is completed. Thank you, adjudicators. Thank you, debater, for the great debate.
Thank you, everyone.